Congratulations, Tom. We're excited that you're here today.
Yeah, thank you very much.
What an honor it is to have you a part of the 2021 Silver Beaver class for the Northern Star Scouting.
Well, it's an honor. It's a great honor to be a part of that group, and I'm very appreciative of the council for this recognition and award.
Well, we're glad that you're here today to spend some time with us. You know, I guess I want to start out with something completely. I'd like you to tell me what your most meaningful experience in scouting has been.
Well, I've been involved in scouting all my life, and without question, the thing that I've probably enjoyed the most has been mentoring Eagle Scouts and being involved with that activity. Within our troop, we had 54 Eagle Scouts from the time I came into the troop to the time I left the troop. And it's just been a wonderful, wonderful experience for those boys to be able to accomplish the Eagle Scout Award, obviously. And I've watched with great excitement those boys watch themselves do something that maybe they felt they couldn't do.
Right.
But with the right amount of mentoring and with following them and encouraging them and having them participate in the high adventure trips that we participate in, the camping trips, the monthly activities, all the meetings. You bring them along, and there's nothing more gratifying to see them achieve the Eagle Scout rank. And it's one of the things I've enjoyed absolutely the most out of my scouting experiences.
Now, you had mentioned mentoring, and I saw that you were an advisor to, is it your alumni fraternity?
Yes.
Is at the University of Minnesota?
Yeah, here at the University of Minnesota. I did a lot of mentoring there as part of that.
And what fraternity was that?
SA fraternity
Okay.
at the University of Minnesota. I'm a past national officer of that organization also, and I've very much enjoyed doing that, working with the undergraduates and watching the leadership development that happened at that level also.
Did you find yourself in a similar way mentoring those youth like you did with the Scouts?
It's a different type of mentoring because you're dealing with older boys once,
Right.
Of course, they're in college. However, I enjoyed particularly the scouting experience because you're working with people in that wonderful point in time in their lives when they're still maturing out and they're still moving into their lives and figuring out what they're going to be doing and how they want to go about doing it. And to help guide them through the program of what scouting is and the very best of what it offers, and doing merit badges and having the activity of being able to do the many things that scouting offers is much more rewarding, and watching that happen at that age level.
That's interesting. That's very interesting. How about working with some of the officers in the House? I mean, did you find yourself wanting them, maybe those that may not have had any scouting experience, maybe get them into some of the leadership training that we do?
Well, one of the things that's been interesting is that people that gravitate, there's often a lot of scouts
Yes.
that are in the Greek system at the University of Minnesota.
Yes.
And both male and female, and Girl Scouts in that regard. And obviously we'll now watch into the future here, women that have been involved in scouting. But a lot of times those people are the people that gravitate into leadership roles. And so it's even easier to deal with those people that have been through a scouting experience as they go through leadership roles at the University of Minnesota. And typically they're involved in not only in the SAE experience, but they're involved in other leadership roles on campus.
Right.
And it's very rewarding to see see them apply the skills that they learn in scouting as part of their university experience.
Right.
Before they graduate.
Right. You have a very strong involvement at the U of M. And I see even with the Northern Star Council, you've played a big part in the fundraising aspect of things. Would you like to share with us on some of that exciting ventures that you've been a part of?
Well, my experiences with scouting and raising money is lifelong. I did I was asked to do the Friends of Scouting fund drive within our troop.
Right.
And I did that for quite a few years, and we were successful at that. And then that kind of aggregated up into the district and then into the council level. And then I chaired the Friends of Scouting campaign on behalf of Northern Star Council for 2 years. I took it on twice. and enjoyed that very much. And, it was a talent that I had and was able to share. And then I tried to mentor people there, and Brian Burnett came along behind me. He was a friend of mine from the University of Minnesota, and he became involved. And also, he filled my slot when I moved on. So
Yes, yes.
it was wonderful to watch him succeed at the level that he did also.
Right, right. But at the University of Minnesota, you are also a part, or at one point you were part of handling a budget and working.
I served for 6 years on the Board of Regents at the University of Minnesota, which is the governing body of the University of Minnesota, the 5 campuses, and roughly 50-some thousand students that attend there. And that board is the operating board for making all the institutional decisions and works with the legislature for the appropriations that it takes to run what is the only land-grant university in the state of Minnesota. So there's a lot of duties and responsibilities, and I served on the finance committee, and I served on the litigation and facilities. I did a number of different roles within that organization.
That's amazing. Is there something that people don't know about you that you'd like to share? A hobby or a trip or?
Oh, golly. I've always been around water. And most people know that, but I grew up, my grandfather was a wonderful mentor. He had a home on the North Shore, had a hunting camp outside of Detroit Lakes that I spent a lot of years on, and that's one of the aspects that I was happy that our troop did a lot of work with having everybody get the Minnesota firearm safety certification. Almost every boy had it. We had one weekend called the shotgun camp out. And I enjoyed that. Now, people within scouting know that, but a lot of other people don't know that I have a strong interest in that out-of-doors aspect. I always seem more businesslike, but my out-of-doors activities is really something I've centered my life. And I built a home and I live on a lake, which all follows my love of the outdoors and all of that. And people don't see me in that setting because they always see me more in a business
Of a
or
student,
working.
as a regent at the University of Minnesota, yes.
They see me in that setting, but they don't see me in a canoe. They don't see me carrying a backpack or, walking, doing a backpack trip with 14 boys out at Philmont.
Well, and I noticed you're wearing a Philmont slide, and how many times have you been out there?
I've been out there once,
Okay.
and I had the good fortune of going with both of my boys to
nice.
Philmont, and they were all 3 of us were there at the same time, and it was almost incidental. My oldest was going to go; it was all set to go, and one of the fathers called me on the Sunday before they were leaving, and he said my son slid into third base and broke his ankle, and he said, how about, would you be interested in going to Philmont and being an adult leader and having maybe your younger son fill the slot? And I said, well, let me talk to my younger son first. and sure enough, we put everything together in a week, and then we headed out. And I thought I was maybe past the point of maybe doing something like that, but it turned out to be a wonderful experience, and I physically was in shape to be able to do that.
I was just going to say, wow, that's something that not everybody can do.
No, not everybody could do that, but I had fun doing it, and it was. We had a great trip. It was a wonderful trip, and we were confronted with a lot of different things, but the boys had already been through through Northern Tier, through the UPIC experience, so the cold weather wasn't a hindrance to most of those boys, and they bonded and they got through it, and then they bonded further amongst each other that they all wanted to finish. And when we had a 50th anniversary of our troop, and a number of those boys, I'm going to say about 3/4 of them came back for the anniversary. We had kind of an open house, and it just, again, extended to me, what the commitment was of being part of that scouting experience where they all wanted to be back together just on a kind of an anniversary kind of a opportunity.
What an outstanding opportunity to experience that. Yeah. I mean, to see it here and then to see it here, and I bet it was like the years never passed, right?
Yeah, it is. It's to see what happens, to watch these young men grow into adult men in that period of time, and I stay in touch with quite a few of them. They need letters of recommendation. They want advice on getting into college. all sorts of things. And I still try to continue to fill that role. If I'm called upon, asked to do something, I'm more than happy to do that.
I'm always in awe of Scoutmasters that have youth that come to them, as everybody progresses into their adult life, and they still look upon that Scoutmaster with such respect and mentorship as it continues on.
I look back on that. We had the quintessential Scoutmaster as our mentor and as a guide there, a World War II veteran. And it shot down over Germany, managed to work his way back without getting caught or captured. And he used to tell the stories of camping and survival, finding food, everything of what he had to do to get through that for almost a month's period of time. And those stories that you see and you're mentored on,
Right.
you figure, okay, well, if he can do that, certainly some of us can do things that are far less challenging than what he was faced with. I look back and there was quite a grouping of wonderful people that came through that troop. And that was a church base. That was a Presbyterian church, but we had a wonderful experience there. Wonderful experience.
Wow, that is outstanding. Thank you so much for taking the time to talk to us today. We really want to say thank you and congratulations, and we really appreciate all that you do for the youth that you serve.
Well, thank you very much. It's a great honor to be recognized. It was really quite unexpected. I really had no reason to expect that anything like this would happen. And when I got the call, I was obviously surprised and I was quite, obviously pleased. It's kind of a capstone of my volunteer experiences that I've had up to this point in scouting.
Well, now it means a couple more years.
Yes. That for sure.
That's for sure. No, I'm just kidding.
Well, I've watched so much happen in this council. I watched the two councils come together. And then what we've done here, this building, the other building, I've watched all that happen. And
It's amazing what our
gratifying.
council has, where it's gone, where it is, and where it's going to. It's amazing that we are very fortunate to be a part of such a vast experience. And
well, there's a
the
lot of
great
people
leaders.
doing little pieces to make it all happen. And I like to think that I had a little piece in it along the way, and obviously enjoy seeing the success of what happens as a result of all
Yeah. Thank you so much.
that. Yeah, thank you.
Yes.